All right, y'all, we got some friends and family in the house today. Today, we're gonna make some pineapple wine. Let's go. All right, y'all, I tell you what, we just got done tasting this pineapple wine. Oh man, you guys gotta check this one out from beginning to end. Let's go. All right, y'all, I am excited for this one. Pineapple wine sounds delicious. I bet you it's gonna be straight fire. I'm gonna get everything prepped up and ready to roll. Let's go. All right, you guys, here's what we got done so far. So I created a batch of sanitizer solution. Got the bowl, the scale, this bowl, the spoon holder, countertop, everything sanitized. We did use Star San as our choice of sanitizer today. And first up, we're gonna make some simple syrup. All right, first up, sugar. Now I do prefer bottled water over tap water for this, personal preference. Each one of these bottles is 16.9 ounces, so just over 2 cups. We're gonna use all 3 bottles. All right, you guys, we're gonna give this a mix, and all we're gonna do is stir this on medium-low until you can't see or feel the sugar, and the color is perfectly clear to where you can see the spoon right through the syrup. All right, you guys, I'm gonna let this do its thing. We'll be right back. All right, you guys, this is exactly what you're looking for. Nice and clear. We're gonna get 15 pounds of pineapple prepped up and ready to roll. Show you what that looks like now. All right, you guys, I have decided that today I'm going to puree the pineapple, and we're also gonna use a bag to kind of filter out any unwanted pulp and stuff like that. So first and foremost, everything has been sanitized, including the bag, which I have soaking in sanitizer now. And first up, need to get the bag in the bucket. Let's do that now. All right, let's go ahead and get the pineapples rocking and rolling, yeah? All right, you guys, we're looking for about 15 pounds of pineapple. I can tell you that I already pre-measured one to see how much I would get once the pineapple has been decored and cleaned. And wouldn't you have it, we got exactly 2.5 pounds right on the money. So we're looking at using about 6 pineapples today. Now, to clean these pineapples, this is all we're doing. So, take the pineapple, cut off the top. Oh man, ooh buddy, smelling good. All right, and then we're just gonna take off the sides. And cut off the bottom. And take out the core. All right, this one we're a little shy, but you get the concept. I do have 8 pineapples, so we will get to a precise 15 pounds of pineapple. I'm gonna keep track and weigh and puree and weigh and get all this rocking and rolling here. So, cool, we'll be right back. All right, you guys, that is 15 pounds of pineapple puree. Cool. Let's go ahead and add some ingredients. I do have a simple syrup that I made. It is 6 pounds of granulated sugar and 6 cups of bottled water, and just mix on medium-low until nice and clear. 6 pounds should be enough to get right around a 12.5% ABV with 3 gallons of pineapple wine. So, simple syrup. First up, let's go ahead and add some acid blend. What this will do is give it a nice acidity. The instructions say half a teaspoon per gallon. All right, and what we did was a half teaspoon per gallon of wine. We're making 3 gallons, so teaspoon and a half altogether. All right, next up will be wine tannin. This one also says a quarter to a half teaspoon per gallon. We're gonna go on the half teaspoon per gallon side of things. Now, this stuff does like to cake up, so don't be alarmed by that. And what this is going to do is give the wine a good mouthfeel. All right, next up, let's go ahead and add some Campden Tablets. What this is going to do is basically kill off anything we don't want within our wine. It is 1 tablet per gallon, so we're going to use 3 tablets. All right, like that. And last but not least, Pectic Enzyme. Pectic Enzyme is what's going to break down the fruit into a juice. So very, very important step to add. This one says a half teaspoon per gallon of juice or 1/10 teaspoon per pound of fruit. Either way, we're making 3 gallons, which is 1.5 teaspoons. Or we got 15 pounds of fruit, which is 1.5 teaspoons. So we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons. All right. Now, tomorrow, we will add the yeast nutrient when we add the yeast. I like to add it with the yeast versus this step here. So, cool. I'm going to get this mixed up. We're going to get this added in. Before we do that, though, let's get this bag tied up. Now, these bags are reusable. So if you ever wanted to reuse it, you can. Sometimes I do. I have in the past, but it depends if I want to take the time to clean it or not. All right. Guys, just like that. Cool. Go ahead and give it a mix. All right, let's go ahead and add our simple syrup. And now what we're going to do is add some water until we reach the potential ABV that we're looking for. First bottle, I'm going to use to rinse the pan. Okay, go ahead and add some water. I want to take it up to at least the 3-gallon mark on the bucket. Then we'll take a reading and see where we're at. All right, you guys, not every day you get it right out the gate. 12.5% is exactly what we wanted. It's exactly where we're at. We did use 4 bottles of water, which are 16.9 ounces each, which is about 2 cups per bottle. All in all, about 8 cups of water. Cool. We're going to let the pineapple break down with the Pectic Enzyme for about 24 hours. We will take another measurement tomorrow to make sure that we're still idling right around that 12.5% predicted alcohol. So, cool. I'm going to get this added back in, get a lid on it, put an airlock on, and we'll be right back in like 2 seconds, aka tomorrow. Let's go. All right, you guys, it has been 24 hours. It is time to add the yeast and some yeast nutrient. First and foremost, though, we want to take a specific gravity reading and see where our potential ABV is going to land. Hopefully, it has remained around that 12.5 overnight. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah. Ooh, buddy, that smells great. All right. Now, you'll notice I have everything here sanitized and ready to roll. We do have some Red Star Premier Classique that we're going to use. Enough for a 5-gallon batch. We're just going to use the whole thing. We got 3 gallons. It'll work just fine. And some yeast nutrient as well to feed our yeast. Let's take a look and see what this looks like here. Well, what I can tell you is that the pineapple has really broken down a lot more than I thought it would in 24 hours, which is great. That just indicates that the Pectic Enzyme is doing exactly what we want it to do. All right, I'm gonna get this bag in the perfect place to go ahead and add some yeast nutrient here. There we go, just like that. All right, for yeast nutrient, let's go ahead and read the instructions here. It says to add 1 teaspoon per gallon. So we got 3 gallons, we're gonna add 3 teaspoons. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get a specific gravity reading here. Hopefully, we're around the 12.5. Okay, we are a little bit high, so we are going to add just a little bit more water, then lock it in with the yeast here. Be right back. All right, we're still right at about 15%, so I added 2 cups. I'll add another 2 cups here. Adding 2 or 3 more cups, we'll be right on the money. All right, y'all. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9 cups of water later. We are at a 12.5 right on the money. Now, some of you might be wondering, why did the potential ABV change overnight? The reason is because of the pineapple breaking down, there's more juice to the mixture. So yesterday is primarily a little bit of juice with some water and sugar. Today's a little bit different. So nonetheless, today's reading is what matters most. And right now we are adding the yeast at a potential ABV of 12.5%. Right on the money. All right, I'm gonna get this added back in since everything's good and sanitized. Then we'll get that yeast added in here. All right, now all I'm going to do is get as much of the bag underneath the liquid as possible. which is what I just did. And I'm going to switch my gloves real quick, and we're going to add the yeast. Okay, we are not going to stir this at this stage. We want the yeast to have contact with the liquid and that yeast nutrient, but also all of the oxygen at the top of the bucket. At this stage, oxygen is definitely your friend, and we want that yeast to have plenty of it. Now, what we are going to do is stir this up once a day, every 24 hours for the next 5 to 7 days, kind of depending on the activity level. Once it hits around that 7-day mark, if it still has activity, I'm just going to let it run its course until the airlock has no more activity. So I will show you day by day real quick what the airlock looks like and what the wine, or what will be wine, looks like day by day. Check it out. All right, y'all, it has been 10 days since we added the yeast, and as you can see from the airlock, we are ready to rack. I believe we're gonna get 3 gallons out of it. I did remove the bag on day 6, so you won't see that anymore. And yeah, I'm gonna get everything sanitized and ready to roll. Let's go. All right, you guys, I got everything thoroughly sanitized, countertop and all. Let's go ahead and open this up and take a look. Looking good, smelling good, without a doubt. All right, let's go ahead and get our racking cane here. And all we're going to do is siphon 3 gallons from here into the carboy there. Now you'll notice I do have the carboy sitting in pans. I do that, so that way they can kind of drip dry a little bit. The sanitization, however, it's not going to hurt you to have it in there, so don't worry about it. And then just in case it cracks or something like that, when we're siphoning the wine to the carboy, I have the carboy in a pan there just to kind of catch some of the mess. That way cleanup isn't too difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and get this racked. Let's go. Now you do want the tube all the way to the bottom of the carboy. That way you're not introducing a bunch of oxygen into the wine. Oxygen is no longer your friend at this point. All right, you guys, I'm gonna get these done right quick and be right back. All right, you guys, just like that. Now, it does help to have an extra set of hands to swap out the carboys as you are racking the wine. So if you have family or friend that can help you out, it's ideal. All right, let's go ahead and mix up some bentonite. I'm gonna get this moved out of the way so you guys can see how to do this. All right, for the bentonite, 2 teaspoons per half cup of warm water, sufficient enough for 5 gallons. So what I've done is I have some bottled water that I got warmed up with some hot water in the sink. Do you need to do this? Absolutely not. I've used room temperature. However, for the sake of the video, I just want to give you guys an idea of how to warm up some bottled water without breaking out a bunch of equipment. So there you go. All right, half cup. Now don't worry about the extra. We are gonna make enough for 5 gallons, which will be plenty for 3. Having a little extra is not gonna hurt. All right, let's go ahead and give it a mix. All right, what I will tell you is you cannot stir that stuff enough. What you are looking for is kind of like a muddy type consistency. Once you hit that point, you're good to go. All right, let's go ahead and get this added in. All right, you will notice that we got a little too much wine into this carboy. So I have a sanitized turkey baster. We're gonna take a little bit of that wine out so that way we got enough room to add the bentonite. And what we're looking for is with the stir paddle in, just enough space to where when we take the paddle out, it hits about the bottom of the neck of the carboy. With the stir paddle in, as you stir in the bentonite for the next few days, no wine will pour out and make a mess. So we're gonna take a little bit of wine out and be right back. All right, let's go ahead and add the bentonite. All right, that should be good enough. Let's get it mixed up. So they say to stir one direction and then the opposite direction, so clockwise and then counterclockwise, to really get that bentonite good and mixed up. We are going to stir for the next 3 days. So today will be day 1, we'll stir day 2, and then we'll stir day 3. All right, you guys, just like that. Now we are going to stir this bentonite again tomorrow and the day after. I will show you what that looks like. And then after that, it's going to rest for 90 days until we rack it. Now you will take note that I'm going to have this on my kitchen for the next couple days, resting on the counter. So I am going to cover it with a black towel to block any type of natural sunlight from reaching the wine. You don't need to do that if you got a basement where there's no windows and no light. However, this is going to be in my kitchen for the next couple days so I can record the video for you. So we're going to wrap it. One other thing I do want to mention is when you guys are working with bentonite, bentonite, once it dries, is tough to clean. So immediately, what you don't see off video is when I'm done with the bentonite, and the measuring cup and the spoon, those immediately go into soaking water. So that way that stuff doesn't dry on there. So just a tip to help you out. All right, y'all, I'm going to show you the next couple days of stirring the bentonite, and then we'll see you in 90 days after that. Let's go. All right, y'all, I am excited to see how this one turns out. It has been 90 days since we racked this pineapple wine with the bentonite, and the clarity on it is out of this world. Today, we're gonna get it racked over to a 5-gallon bucket. Of course, everything has been sanitized that you see before you. Once we get it racked to that bucket, we're going to stabilize and back sweeten. We're gonna show you every step of the way, then we're gonna bottle it, and then we're gonna taste it. Let's go. All right, you guys, it is time to rack this wine. Now, we do have everything sanitized using Star San. This is my sanitizer of choice. Works amazing for winemaking. These next steps that we're going to show you today can be done on your own. However, it's a lot easier if you have a friend. Today, I got Cordell in the house, and he has been nice enough to come over and help us out. All right, let's get this wine racked. You might notice that Cordell and I both are wearing gloves. Is that required? No. We wear the gloves and spritz on a little bit of sanitizer just as an extra precautionary. You can't really be too clean or too sanitized during a winemaking process. So, cool. Get the first one up. Now you'll notice in the bucket we have the tube all the way down to the bottom of the bucket. That is so that we don't add any more oxygen or air to the wine. All right, you'll notice that we left a little bit in the bottom. That is perfectly a-okay. You don't want any of the stuff that is settled to get into your finished product once you go to bottle. So leave a little extra wine. It's worth wasting the wine to not have that sediment into the bottle. All right, I'm gonna get the next two done. Be right back. All right, you guys, just like that, we did a really good job at not disturbing any of the leaves at the bottom of the carboy. I'm really happy with how this racked over to the 5-gallon bucket. Next up, we're gonna add our ingredients to stabilize so that way we can back sweeten. And then we're also going to degas. Show you what that looks like next. All right, you guys, today we're going to add the Campden Tablets and potassium sorbate. First up, let's go ahead and add 3 Campden Tablets. All right, let's go ahead and add the potassium sorbate. For measurements, we did 3 Campden Tablets. Instructions say 1 per gallon. We got 3 gallons of wine. For the potassium sorbate, it says a half teaspoon per gallon. So we're gonna add 1.5 teaspoons. Now, what these ingredients do is the potassium sorbate is used to stabilize the wine, and the Campden tablets are used to kind of kill off anything that would be unwanted in our wine, so that way it's safe to consume. If you're not going to back sweeten, you can skip the potassium sorbate. However, we are going to back sweeten, so we're using it today. All right, let's go ahead and degas. All right, guys, I will forewarn you, degassing, you'll notice sometimes it kind of pops up at you. That is normal, so just be aware, especially if you're degassing in like a carboy. Odds are you're going to get all that CO2 to come out of the carboy. It can be kind of messy, so just fair warning. All right, so we have it stabilized. We got everything nice and safe to consume. It is time to back sweeten. Let's go. All right, guys, now to make this simple syrup, all we did was 6 pounds of sugar and 4 cups of water. You could go 6 cups of water. I just didn't want that much water in the wine. Nonetheless, 6 pounds of sugar, 4 cups of water. All right, let's go ahead and add about half of this in. We'll get it stirred in really, really well using the wine paddle. I'm going to have my wife taste test for sweetness. Because Cordell and I are going to taste test this wine toward the end of the video, and I don't want to ruin that experience for you. If you were making this for yourself, go ahead and add the simple syrup little bits at a time, give it a good stir, and give it a taste test until it hits the level of sweetness to your liking. All right, let's go ahead and add some simple syrup. All right, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and add the rest here. Okay, my wife said that sweetness is spot on. I'm excited to see what this tastes like. We did hit a specific gravity of 1.066 for sweetness. So, all right, should we get it bottled up?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, you guys, pretty easy process. I'm gonna take a bottle, and on this racking cane, we have a spring-loaded tip that will let the wine out when it's pressed, and then as soon as you pull up, it shuts off the siphon, so that way you just go from bottle to bottle to bottle. All right, we'll show you what that looks like now. Now you'll notice a little bit of sanitizer in the wine bottle. Do not be alarmed. It is perfectly safe. All right, you guys, we're gonna get the rest of these bottled up. We're hoping for right around 14, 15 bottles. We'll see. Be right back. All right, you guys, check out the clarity of this wine. You can see my hand right through it. Ooh, buddy, this is gonna be good. All right, you guys, we did get 15 bottles exactly out of this batch. Absolutely beautiful. All right, you guys, I'm gonna show you how to cork. Let's go. All right, now all you're gonna do is get the bottle on there and line it up. Make sure it's locked in place. Put the cork in the hole. Just like that. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of these done. Then it's tasting time. Check it out. All right, y'all, it is time for the fun part. It took a minute to get here, but this wine looks out of this world. Cordell, what's your thoughts?
I remember when we were bottling it, the smell of it was so sweet.
Yeah, 100%. And what's interestingly enough is that sweet aroma was there before we actually even back sweetened, if you recall.
Yep.
Yeah, so man, I'm ready. Cordell, you ready?
Down.
All right, let's go. Huh.
I'm going.
Oh, it smells good. Let's go. Oh.
Yeah, it hits you, doesn't it?
Wow.
It's really good.
It is really good.
This one might have topped the other one.
I don't know.
The other one was a lot sweeter, like it more packed a punch, but this one it feels like it's more flavorful. Is that just me?
Damn. Yeah, it's got a lot of flavor. I don't know. Okay, so the other one Cordell's talking about, if you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. It was a 10 out of 10. We made cinnamon apple wine. We didn't even use cinnamon to make it, and it's delicious. This one, man, all right. So let's start with aroma. Aroma for me, 10 out of 10. Cordell? Yeah, 10 out of 10. Mouthfeel.
It's perfect consistency.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. 10 out of 10 as well. Taste.
Hits you at first, and then it gets in with that sweetness, bitterness right after. It's really good.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go one more, then I'm going to toss my number out there.
Yep. And it rolls in.
Yep, 100%. All right, Cordell, 1 out of 10, what's your score?
10.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one a 10 as well. I would be really, really curious to see what oaking this wine would do. I would love to try like a Brazilian oak and kind of add like that cinnamon note for almost like a grilled pineapple flavor. I would love to try like new oak, maybe even French oak. If you guys would like to see a pineapple wine, oak versus oak, or to oak or not to oak, whatever it may be, if you want to see something along those lines where we test the different oaks with pineapple wine, let us know in the comments and we'll be more than happy to shoot that video for you. All in all, this is a 10 out of 10 without a doubt. You guys make this pineapple wine, you won't regret it. You're going to love it. Till next time, ciao. Yeah, this is good. Yeah.
I've been drinking more and more wine, like from the past week.
Yeah.
And like I'm trying to get rid of beer and everything, but I've been trying different wines out there. You got me on this, by the way.
On the wine?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was kind of the first one that you did, the apple cinnamon one.
Cinnamon apple, yeah.
It wasn't like the consistency just didn't feel like wine. This one is way more like wine.
Yeah, the mouthfeel is like super spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. The cinnamon apple it still had a great mouthfeel, a little bit thinner compared to this. This one has more of a mouthfeel and the viscosity is a lot better. I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands down. Pineapple wine.